So, good evening, everybody. We're going to start the session on communication skills. Those who have joined, be till the end so that you can understand and learn more regarding this. And we're about to start the session. Good evening, Aditya sir. We will start the session related to communication skills. If anybody has any doubt or you think that you want to improve something related to communication, you can ask me. Before I start, let me ask you all, am I audible properly? Thank you, gentlemen. The session is so important for everybody to understand because communication skills are really important part. Yes, Vanshi ma'am. Good evening, Priyanka ma'am. And I would expect more questions related to communication because it's a wide subject which people should learn what it is all about. Listen to the session till the end so that you can improve your communication with others. Communication is done with everybody, so we are going to discuss all the things related to communication today. Good evening, Dhruv sir. Oh, Asha Jan ma'am. Good evening. Just wait for a while, then we will start the session. So today we will learn what are the important aspects of effective communication with people. There are four aspects which we're going to discuss: reading, listening, writing and speaking. So we'll discuss all of the things. So if you have question before I begin and let you know about communication, if you have any question then you can send me. I will answer those questions. So this is the live session on communication. We've been doing live sessions for a week and I have uploaded all of the videos. I hope you must have listened to them. I do not believe in watching, I believe in listening to them because listening is the key. Even listening is very important and essential for communication. So today we're going to discuss listening as well. So if you have any question, then please do ask. Then we will begin the session. How communication plays an important role in our lives. Those all things we're going to discuss. There are four major aspects of communication. This we should know: reading, writing, listening and speaking. We'll talk more about speaking and listening in this session. I'll discuss a little regarding reading and writing as well. But to understand communication better, you need to be with me till the end. So let me begin the session and let me talk about it. If you have questions, you can write in chat box. Those questions will be answered a little later, and please be with the session till the end. I will answer all of your questions. The first thing which comes in communication is that you need to seek first to understand, then to be understood. You need to understand this sentence very well. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. It is not important that people should always understand you. First, you need to understand others. So, if you start understanding others, then people start understanding you. But what people generally expect from others, that they should understand you first, and then you will start understanding, which is not a good sign. So you need to be careful regarding this, that you need to listen to people first, you need to understand everybody first. See, it happens, I have heard this sentence from so many people, that nobody understands me. Please listen to me very carefully. People generally say, nobody understands me. But nobody ever says that I do not understand others. But actual situation is like this only. I do not understand others, but we always expect from others that they should understand us. Thank you very much, Priyanka ma'am. You have asked me a question. I will answer all of your questions today at the end of the session. So first, I will let you know about communication, whatever things I want to discuss, because those who have joined, so they should understand first. And whatever questions you have related to communication, this you can ask me at the last. Why I'm going to answer all of the questions at the last? Because most of your questions may be solved in the session only. So listen to me very carefully today. So this you must understand, that first you need to understand others, then to be understood. The reality is that you do not understand others. I do not understand others. But what we say to people, that people do not understand me. So if you want to be an effective communicator, then you need to learn how to understand. Communication word came from commune. Commune does not mean exchange of thoughts. Actually, when people teach communication skills, they always say that effective communication can be done in that way, when what you want to tell others, they should understand in the same way exactly what you actually wanted to deliver. And what others want to tell you, it should be delivered in the same way what they wanted to deliver it to you. But communication started from the word commune. Commune does not mean exchange of thoughts, it means share. Share your thoughts. So, if you want to be an effective communicator, first of all, you have to learn how to share your thoughts. And when others share their thoughts with you, then you need to listen to them. If you start doing this, then you may become an effective communicator later. But initially, you need to learn how to share the things with others. So, sharing your thoughts with others is very important. There are so many people, they have got a lot of thoughts, they have got good piece of knowledge, but they keep knowledge within. They keep their thoughts within. They do not want to discuss the thoughts with others. They do not want to share the thoughts with others. They think that if I share my thoughts with others, then what people may say, I do not know. See, initially you need to understand that you need to learn how to share the thoughts. After a while, after some situations, after some days, after some weeks, you may start getting what you should share, what you should not share. That's more important. Once what happened, my cousin came to my home. Listen to me carefully what I'm telling you because this is related to me. I hope this may have been the same situation with you as well. Once my cousin came to my home and I talked to the cousin. My father was also sitting beside me. After he had left, my father told me that you do not know how to talk to cousins. He has come to this home first time, and what you spoke, that you should have learnt. I was young. I couldn't understand at that time. I thought that this is my mistake, but then I realized later that people always try to point out your mistakes when you speak to somebody, but they do not tell that what to speak. And communication skills mean actually what to speak, when to speak, who to speak, why to speak, and where to speak. But how we are going to learn this? How we are going to improve our personality as far as our communication is concerned? So this thing we are going to discuss in this session, in this live session. So you must listen to the session till the end because this is going to be life-changing session for you. It may change some of your, I would not call them mistakes, some of your weaknesses as far as your communication is concerned. So you should stay till the end to understand that. So we should first try to understand. When we understand others, we listen to people. See, you need to understand, as I have told, that there are four major aspects of communication: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. If you want to be a good writer, people ask me, so how to be a good writer? If you want to be a good writer, read more. Reading is just like an input. If input is more, output will be more. It is something like that. It is very easy. Like if you eat more, then only you're going to, you eat more, you're going to defecate more. It is input. The same thing, when you read more, you write more. So if you want to be good writers, be good readers. Reading is an input thing for writing. And if you want to be a very good speaker, then listen more. Because now listening is input for speaking. What is the problem? What people generally tend to make mistakes, that they want to be good writers directly, they want to be good speakers directly, but they do not want to be good readers first, they do not want to be good listeners first. So if you want to be good speakers, those you name any speaker in the world, if you know any good speaker, you name the speaker. You will later realize, check that person's videos more, you will realize that they are good listeners as well. And those who are good writers, those who have written good books, best-selling books in the world, then they may have been good readers first. So first, you need to be a good reader to be a good writer. You need to be a good listener to be a good speaker. Now there are 5 stages of listening, which I am going to discuss. First is ignoring. Ignoring means when somebody speaks to you and you ignore, that you are not interested in listening to the person. So that is first stage. The second stage is pretending. I mean, you show the person that I'm listening to you. Sometimes you may have seen some people doing like this while listening to others. So problem is what? People befool others. They just want to pretend that I'm listening to you, but actually they are not listening. Third, selective. Selective listening is what? What you want to listen, you will listen. What is of your interest, you will listen. And what is of not your interest, you will not listen. So that is selective listening. Fourth is active listening. Active listening in the sense that you listen to people actually. You listen to people actually. And the fifth one, which I want to tell you, that is empathic. Means you respond to people when you listen to people as well. You have to be an attentive listener. So these are 5 stages which you need to work on. First is ignoring. I mean, you ignore when people speak to you, you do not give it a damn. Second is pretending that you're listening to the person. Third, selective. Fourth, active. And fifth is attentive. I mean, when they speak to you, you respond to them as well. You ask questions from whatever people have said. So now you have to understand that what kind of listener you are. What kind of listener you are. So you have to be a good listener. Want to discuss one of the things which happened amazingly. My paternal uncle, in English we call them paternal uncle, but in our family we call him Bade Papa. So my Bade Papa called me last night and I asked him that, Papa, please watch my videos. I have uploaded some videos on YouTube. He said, yes, okay, I will watch. And I had asked him that if you would like to give me some feedback, then definitely give me the feedback. So you know what happened? He saw the first video and he called me immediately and he said that, what the hell you have done? See the level of your looking, you have put on a cap. I immediately told him that I have put on the cap because since my hair is so short. So he said, it doesn't matter, but you should not put on the cap while coming online. And it is so dark, it does not look good. Your appearance should be good. Now please understand this thing. He spoke to me that your appearance should be good. Now, what kind of listening I did? Did I ignore? If I had ignored, I wouldn't have listened to him what he spoke. If I had pretended that I'm listening to you, then I wouldn't have taken any action related to it. If I had made it selective, then I cannot be called a good listener. And if I am an active listener, I mean just listen to the person who speaks clearly, then also I may not be taking any action. And if I am an attentive listener, I am going to take some action. And today I took the action. I changed everything. That's why you may see the difference in the quality of video if you have attended my previous sessions live. I have taken off my cap today. So this is called attentive listening. I'm giving you my example so that you can learn. And there is nothing wrong in admitting your mistakes. I tell you, there is nothing wrong in admitting your mistakes. If you want to improve yourself, that's why if you remember, I told in my first live session that if you want to be successful in your life, first and foremost thing which you have to learn learn it. I think the best quality in the world is to be learned. You need to learn every moment. There is always a room for improvement in a person. So that improvement is important. So never say that, no sir, I am a good listener. I listen to people very well. No. Most of us are not good listeners. Why we are not good listeners? Because we have never been taught to be good listeners. This is the main problem. We have never been taught to be good listeners. We have taught to be good speakers. We have taught to be good writers. But we have never been taught to be good readers. We have never been taught to be good listeners. But I think if you had been taught to be good listeners, then you would have been good speakers automatically, by default. The first thing which you need to work on your personality and on your communication skills, that is listening. Be an attentive listener. Whenever somebody speaks to you, suppose you are busy, you do not have time. So either you say, I'm sorry, I'm busy, I'll not be able to talk to you. I will not be able to talk to you at this moment. You can even say like this. There is no problem at all. This is the first thing which you can do. The second thing, if you are not busy, then you listen to the person clearly. So, but never pretend that I'm listening to you. Because sometimes, some important aspects also we leave just because of this habit, because we pretend to be good listeners. So we need to understand this thing. That's why I always say that we should always diagnose. I learned a sentence in my childhood that diagnose before you prescribe. Earlier, I had thought that this is all about doctors. But then I realized that it is all about speakers as well. Diagnose before you prescribe. You know what doctors do? Whenever you go to a doctor nowadays, they say that first you go for these investigations or these tests, then you come to me. Then I will prescribe you medicines. They do not directly prescribe you medicines. The same way speakers do. First, you diagnose the problems. Whenever somebody speaks to you anything, if you want to be an effective communicator with a person, whenever anybody speaks to you anything, listen to him, diagnose it properly, check it properly, ask more questions, relevant questions related to the problem, and then you tell the person solution. You cannot imply the same solution which you may have implied on another problem earlier. So this is the most pivotal part which you should be careful about. And when we listen to people, as I'm talking about listening, when we listen to people, we always listen to people with our ears, eyes, and heart. Actually, what happens? People always think that we always listen to people with our ears. Okay, ears are used to listen. But what I feel that listening is not only done with our ears. Listening is done with our eyes and with our heart as well. With our heart as well. So you need to take care of these three things. You need to take care of these three things. First is listen to people with your ears, then eyes. Eye contact is very important. I mean, when you listen to people, you should keep an eye contact with the person. Unless you're talking to somebody on phone. Suppose you are doing video conferencing, then also you have to be very careful that your eye contact should be there with the person. And this is a kind of habit. You know, sometimes we do not do it just like that, just for kicks. But I would suggest to you to do like this. Whenever you talk to people, always keep an eye contact with the person. And your heart should be there in that person. Heart should be there. You know, sometimes doesn't it happen? If somebody is talking something of your interest, somebody is talking something of your interest, then you will listen to the person carefully. And if somebody is not talking something of your interest, then you will not listen. You might pretend or you might ignore. But if you are a good listener, the thing which is of your interest, and if it is not of your interest, it should not matter. You should listen to the person carefully. That is the key which you should be careful about your listening. So this is the important part which you should work on as far as your listening is concerned. So, and you should ask this question from yourself only, that I listen, but do I really listen? I listen, but do I really listen? If the answer is no somewhere, then start listening to people properly. Everybody, even a child is talking to you, your parents are talking to you, your wife is talking to you, your mother is talking to you, your acquaintances are talking to you, relatives are talking to you, friends are talking to you, your investors are talking to you, your boss is talking to you, anybody is talking to you. You should learn how to listen to the person. And sometimes, you know, we show people that I'm not interested in listening to the person. Once what happened, I went with one of my friends to his room, and we were to sleep together. Since he was alone, I was alone, I had no work to do, so I went there, and I saw him talking to his cousin. And what I saw actually, that while he was talking, because his cousin may have been speaking for long, what he did, he kept his phone down, face up down, and he was just sitting like this. And after some time, he used to pick up the phone and he used to say, that's it. Don't you think, but it is very bad. If you do like this with others, if you do like this with your relatives, with your friends, if you with your neighbors, with your elders, then you can never be a very good speaker. If you want to be a very good speaker, first you should learn how to listen to people properly. That's more important. So, if you want to be a good orator, see, now let's come to the point of being a good speaker. This is, I hope everybody must have understood things related to listening. Now, things which are related to speaking, we should discuss that. I am a good speaker. How would I know that? When people praise me, when people appreciate me, when people give me feedback. But it doesn't mean that I am the best speaker in the world. I need to learn how to be open to criticism as well. That's why whenever you go to big companies, they always give you a feedback form. If you go to a big hotel, you may have also filled some feedback forms as well. So people are feedback forms for you. Please understand this thing. People are feedback forms for you. You should take feedback from people. You should ask people that where I was wrong, so that they can improve you. They can let you know that what you made the mistakes in. What you made the mistakes in. That's more important. So that, and when it will happen only in that case when you are open to criticism. Ask this question from yourself right now. Ask this question. Those who are listening to me, ask your questions. Am I open to criticism? Am I open to negative feedback? Am I open to negative thoughts created by people for me? And if I'm not open, then I can never be successful. Remember this thing. Every time it will not happen that people will praise you. And you should not be mentally ready for being praised every time. You should not be mentally ready for being appreciated every time. Otherwise, you will forget to improve. I tell you one thing regarding this. What happened? I came to Kota City. Kota City is situated in Rajasthan. And I came to Kota City in 2005. I opened an institute for spoken English in 2005. Before that, before I came, 3-4 institutes had already been running for spoken English. The moment I started, we got a huge success. And after a year, all 3-4 institutes which were running, they all got vanished. Now I was so ecstatic, so joyous. I thought that now I am alone. I have got the monopoly of spoken English. Later, somebody came to me and told that if you are happy with this thing, then now you have no chance to improve yourself. Because when there is nobody, then you will not try to improve yourself. When there is some competition of you, when people talk ill about you, when people do something better than you, then only there are some chances to improve. So if you want to improve yourself, you should be open to criticism. Never ever fear your criticism. Never ever fear your negative feedback from people. When people talk ill about you, it doesn't mean that they are bad. They may be right. You may be wrong. And if they're right and you are wrong and you are not ready to admit your mistakes, then how will you improve yourself? Now check out how many good speakers were there in the world. When Mr. Barack Obama became the president of America, everybody said that he has become the president of America because of his speeches, because of his speaking style, because of being a very good speaker. So now imagine that speaking has this much power. Mr. Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India. He has got that speaking power. He knows how to speak, where to speak, when to speak, who to speak, and why to speak. So if you want to be an effective communicator, you should learn. Now, how would you learn? Initially, you start sharing your thoughts with people. Start talking to people. Start conversing with people. Then people will automatically tell you that where you were wrong. But as I told you, you should be open to criticism here. Because there is always a room for improvement in every person in the world. So if you have that level of, courage in you, guts in you, then you can improve yourself. Then only you will be able to improve, otherwise you will not be able to improve at all. Today I am going to discuss 7 parts of speeches. When I was in Mumbai for a short time, I would give classes on voice culture. Voice culture consists of 7 elements which I am going to discuss, and you all need to listen to me very carefully. First is bass. BASS. Some people mispronounce it and people call it bass. It is not bass, it is bass. Bass is what? Like you keep on speaking for regularly, then also your throat does not get tired of it, you do not start screaming, but that will be only done in that case when you speak more, talk to people more, converse with people more. There was an ancient time when people didn't want to speak a lot. They wanted to be always silent. It's good to be silent. It's good to be silent only in that case when you listen to people. But when it comes to speaking, if you are silent, then it's not good at all. So to create your base, what you can do when you get up in the morning, since you all are English learners, most of you are English learners. So what you can do the moment you get up in the morning, take an English newspaper and start reading out loudly. Start reading out the newspaper loudly, as loud as you can speak for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and repeat it for some days. If your throat starts getting sour, or you start getting some problems in your throat, then you can do gargles with saline water. There is no problem at all. But you should read out the newspaper loudly, as loud as you can. It's better to go on the terrace so that people should not listen to you at that moment. But the moment you get up, that time, it will enhance your bass. Then it comes to pitch. Pitch is of two types. One is high pitch and second is low pitch. These things I'm going to discuss in different video as well, but this I'm telling you so that you can understand and improve yourself. Pitch is of two types. One is high pitch and second is low pitch. High pitch is girlish sound. Low pitch is boyish sound, heavy sound, heavy speech. So you need to take care of it. Now you need to speak both high pitch also and low pitch as well. When you want to give order to somebody, you should speak in low pitch. When you want to say sorry to somebody, or you want to pardon, or you want to want to say sorry to somebody, then you always speak in high pitch. That you should be careful about it. Then it comes to tone. Most of our family members or relatives fight because of the tone. They do not fight what you have spoken. They fight how you have spoken. So you need to understand where you need to increase your tone and when you need to lower your tone. Tone is also of two types. One is high and second is low. So it has to be done both. Please understand this thing. Sometimes high tone is also important. Sometimes high tone is also important. Where it is important? When you want to show anger to somebody. But when you want to show anger to somebody. But it doesn't mean that you are showing your anger to everybody. When it is required, then only you should keep your tone high. Otherwise, you should always keep your tone low. Then it comes to speed. If it is an unimportant thing, you are talking to somebody, then you should speed up your speech. You should speak fast. And if you do not, if you talk something importantly, which is very important, then you should speak slowly. You should not be fast while speaking to people. So you have to cut down your speed when it comes to speaking something important. Please remember this thing. If it is something important, then you have to cut down the speed. But some people do not modulate their voice. They just speak as they know. That's it. So you need to learn how to modulate. Well, how many points we have learned? Bass, tone, pitch, and speed. And fifth is volume. When volume is also of two types. One is high, second is low. But sometimes some people have got high volume only and some people have got low volume only. That is absolutely wrong. You need to check it out that when you need to higher your volume, you need to speak at high volume or you need to speak at low volume. So you need to speak lowly when there are so many people around. When you understand that if you speak at high volume, people may not like it. So you need to understand this very well. Next is flow. Flow is what? When you write anything, then you use punctuation marks like comma, full stop, exclamation mark, inverted commas, single quotes. When you speak, then also these things are there, but they are not seen by anybody. Where are you going? So where are you going should have a question mark. So your face also should show a question mark. Where are you going? No, I'm not going anywhere. So when you say I'm not going anywhere, so your face also should show negative thing about it, about the sentence. When it is interrogative, your face should show that thing. If it is not being seen on your face, then people will not be understand that what you want to speak. So flow is also important. Comma is important while speaking the sentences. If you feel that you should give a small pause, that is comma. You cannot speak comma full stop, and when it is long pause, that is full stop. So that should be taken care of while speaking. And the seventh part, which I feel that is the most important thing, that is accent. While living in India, people often say that if you speak in British accent or American accent, then it is the fake accent. You should speak in Indian accent. Then I always say to people, then why you're speaking English? Don't speak English. Speak Hindi. Simple. Why English? There is no Indian accent of the English language. Please remember this thing. Hindi is our national language. I agree. I also love this language. I speak good Hindi. You can listen to my other videos as well. There is no problem at all. But when I speak Hindi with Hindi accent. Now, please let me know one thing. I am asking you one question. Could I speak Hindi in English accent? And if I speak Hindi in English accent, will people admire it? They will never admire. Why won't they admire? They will say that this Hindi is not Hindi, this is fake Hindi. The same way, if you speak English in Hindi accent, how people are going to respond to it. So when you speak English, you should speak in English accent. So these are the 7 points which you need to work on. If you want to be a good speaker, you need to work on modulation. You need to alter your voice. This is a part of voice culture which you all need to work on if you want to be an effective communicator in the English language especially. Because in Hindi, I know you are a good communicator. Some of you may not be a good communicator even in Hindi as well. There is no problem at all. You can be a good communicator now. You can start speaking well. But as I said, communication starts from the word commune. Commune does not mean exchanging the thoughts. It means sharing your thoughts. So when you start sharing with people, people will also start sharing with you. Now your listening will come in that. So these things you can work on yourself. 7 things. Your bass, tone, flow, speed, volume, pitch, and accent. So when you take care of these things, now, apart from that, of course, content is also required. Please mind the pronunciation of this word. It is not content, it is content. Content is satisfaction. When it is related to self-satisfaction, that is called contentment. But if you do not have content, then also you may not be a very good speaker. How to bring content in you? Now, this content will come by listening to people or by reading more. Listen to me very carefully. By reading more and by listening to people. Nowadays, most of you may not be interested in reading more because now people have given up the habit of reading. They want to listen to people. Okay, no problem at all. Then listen to people more. By listening to people, you will gain knowledge, you will gain content, and the content will be used while speaking to people then. But content is also important. Knowledge is also important related to the topic. But knowledge will come when you start sharing the things, when you start listening to people. But if you get afraid of people, if you fear people, if you are frightened of people, and you are not able to speak to people, then or you are not able to listen to people, then you will not be able to do it. And you can start doing from today. How you can do it from today? Like whenever you talk to somebody, just check yourself. Ask yourself, am I really listening to the person or not? We learned those 5 stages of listening. Ignoring. Am I ignoring? Am I pretending? Am I being selective? Am I being an active listener or am I being an attentive listener? So that's what you need to work on yourself when you listen to people very well. And you have to start listening to people properly. Then your communication is going to be very good. Now, let me check it out. That some people have asked me some questions, and I will let me hold it in this way, or that way will be better. Because I'm not able to see it was on tripod, so I was not able to read the messages. Since today I'm live on mobile, so I'll check it out that what questions have been asked. Let me go through it. Vanshi ma'am has asked that how I learn from my mistakes. See, first of all, you should understand that those who learn from others' mistakes, they are called geniuses, and those who learn from their mistakes, they are called intelligent people. You have to check yourself that you are an intelligent person or you are a genius. So if you are a genius person, then you should first start learning from others' mistakes. And if you want to learn from your mistakes, then there is no problem at all. You can even learn from your mistakes as well. Let me settle it properly since this is the first time I'm coming live through mobile. So then I'll be able to read the things. I hope I'm seen. Yes, that's a better thing. Let me go to the live chat. Oh my goodness, there have been so many questions today. That's really good. It means you were attentive listeners. Priyanka ma'am has asked, at starting stage of learning English, I could not imagine how I can speak frequently. How I can speak frequently, but then later I started speaking. Oh, there are so many questions, so it is going down. So it will take much time for conversation. Reason being that I get stuck with words. So how to bring words into this? See how you can do that and how you can take care of yourself in this case. And this question is generally asked from me that if I know some word, I'm not able to use those words. I'm not able to uh, bring those words at the right moment. I think this may be the question only. And if it is a question, then it happens with almost everybody. What you should do, first of all, then start creating an environment around you. Start creating an environment around you. See, if you do not have environment, you do not talk to people in English, how will you be able to tell? Initially, you should talk in simple language. Even if you do not use good words, there is no problem at all. A good communicator, what he or she does, he changes his way of speaking. Suppose I am not getting some correct word for it, then I will speak it in a simple way, though that you can start doing. So when you start talking to people more, then you start getting those words. And I had told you last time as well that if you want to learn vocabulary, please try to make 5 to 6 sentences using that word. Then you will be able to learn that word, or you will be able to memorize that word. After memorizing, first of all, create an aura, create the environment around you where you can talk in English with people. So when you talk to people more in English, then you get get those words while speaking. So that will happen only in that case when you start talking to people, ma'am. If you do not talk to people, then you will not be able to improve. Now, another question is, suggest good books for reading starting stage. If you want to read, start reading this Rich Dad and Poor Dad. You will improve your personality as well. You will learn some good things related to it, and even you can improve your English as well. So how to clear our communication mistakes, like uh, how to use correct verb form and how to make sentences in English. Okay. See, if you want to improve your sentences in English, then you should, as I have told you, that you should talk to people more. Keep joining the classes sincerely, and whenever you join the class, be an attentive listener. And those things which you have learned, try to use before people. See, as I have told you, that you have to start talking to people. Those who attend our classes, they learn English, but after some time what happens, they do not talk to people more. And if they do not talk to people more, then definitely they will forget as well all the things. Dheeraj sir, I will upload this video on YouTube, so you can listen to the video later. There'll be no problem. See, Vidhi ma'am has asked that I feel low while speaking in English with people. I agree. See, it happens sometimes, like when we are not able to do it in a proper way, then we always feel low. But if you feel low, then you will never be able to improve. If you want to be perfect at it, you have to start talking to people more. You need to discuss it with people more. Then only you will be able to improve. Make mistakes. I would say to you, make mistakes, because you will be able to learn through your mistakes. If you do not make mistakes, how will you learn? So never fear your mistakes. Then only you will be able to learn. And important aspect of your communication is your body language. People say that body language plays 55% role in your communication. Whenever you meet up anybody, your body language plays 55% role. So your body language has to be effective. It means when you say I'm happy, you should look happy. If you say I'm upset, you should look upset. When you say I'm angry, you should look angry. Otherwise, what you will keep on saying to people, that people never understand me. People will not understand you because your body language does not support your words. As far as the communication is concerned, people always say that your words play 7% part only in communication. 38% part is played by your voice culture. Voice culture is what? What we learned? All 7 aspects: pitch, tone, flow, speed, volume, accent. And 55% role is played by our body language. So your body language plays a vital role. You need to work on your body language also. How you can work? See, it is the old way now that you should go in front of the mirror, you should talk to yourself, check your body language. This is the old way now. Nowadays, people are free of cost teachers. People are free of cost teachers. So sometimes, you try to act before people. That's why people say that those who tell lies, their body language is more effective than those people who speak the truth. Because speaking the truth, you do not need to make your faces. You are actual what you are inside. But when you tell lies, when you are, then you have to do acting. Then your body language comes. But I'm not asking you to start telling lies to people. But what I mean to say, that you have to work on your body language as well. Show your body language effective. You need to understand that where you are sitting, why are you sitting, who you are talking to, how you are talking. So these things you have to work on when it comes to body language. If anybody else has got any other question, then please do ask me. Rest of the questions which have been asked, they are all related to English class. I will solve those questions in your English classes. I think most of you are joining the spoken English class. So those who are joining the spoken English class, they can ask me. Or suppose you want to ask me, then you can write in comment box. If anybody else has got any question related to communication, since this is the live session on communication, so if anybody has any question related to communication, please ask me. Then I will let you know that how to work on those things. See, when it comes to the communication, there are 8 C's of perfect instructions. Instructions in the sense, when you instruct people, when you tell people, when you talk to people. So you need to work on 8 C's. It should be clear. It should be complete. It should not be half at all. It should be concise. It should be correct. I mean, sometimes it happens, I don't know, I'm not going to take the name of that philosopher. Once what happened, that a person went to that philosopher and said that somebody has told something wrong about you and I want to tell you. So that philosopher stopped that person and said, just wait. First, give me answer of 4 questions. If any yes comes, if any yes comes to any of the answers, then you tell me the thing, otherwise do not tell me the thing. He said, okay. The first question is that the thing which you are going to tell me, is it going to benefit me in any way? He said, no, it is not going to benefit you in any way. Only you can know that how that person is and how he talks about you, but it cannot benefit you. Is it going to benefit you? He said, no, it is not going to benefit me. Is it going to benefit the person who you are talking about? He said, no, it is not going to benefit him at all. And are you sure that it is the truth, what the person has told? He said, no, I'm not sure that it is the truth. Then he started laughing and he said, when it is not going to benefit me, it is not going to benefit you, it is not going to benefit him, and you are not sure that it is the truth, then why you are telling me? So whenever you talk to people, it should be concise and it should be complete and it should be correct. It should not be false. It should be courteous. It should be concrete, candid, and cautious. Cautious in the sense, you should be cautious in that case. Like, if you have to face some problems because of this thing, when you communicate with people in the future, so you should be ready for it. So you should work on these skills. I hope these skills will help you in your future life. Improve your communication, talk to people more. From today only, start doing 2 things, not more things. I'm not saying that you learn a lot of things through this live session. First, listen to people really. Listen to people really. Otherwise, do not listen. Say to that person, I'm sorry, I cannot listen to you right now. Could you tell me later? If you're not able to listen to the person, first thing. Second, start sharing your thoughts. Whenever your thoughts come to your mind, but who to share, that you have to understand first. See, initially, you may not be able to understand, later you will be able to check that, no problem, but start sharing your thoughts. Because when you start sharing your thoughts, then you learn how to elaborate them. And when you learn how to elaborate them, then you become a concrete speaker in the future. But if you do not share, the thoughts will be within you. They will never come out. Nobody will ever get to know that how potential you are. You have got talent in you. So it has to be shown to people. So thank you very much for attending the session, live session communication skills. If since this was just for an hour, that's why as much as I could give to you, I gave. I tried my level best. Yet, if you feel that some more things should be solved, please write in comment box. Do like the video. If you have not liked the video, if you have not liked the video yet, and if you like the content, if you like the video, then you should like, otherwise you should not like. And please do subscribe to the channel so that you can be notified further. Thank you so much for attending the session.